Imagine hijacking a plane, demanding a ransom, and then disappearing without a trace. Sound like a movie plot? Well, it's not. This is the story of DB Cooper. This tale unfolds on a cold November day in 1971. A man, who we now know as DB Cooper, boarded a flight from Portland to Seattle. Little did anyone know that this unassuming passenger would soon become one of the most enigmatic figures in the annals of unsolved mysteries. The man vanished into thin air, along with $200,000 in ransom money, and left behind a trail of questions that continue to baffle investigators to this day. The identity of DB Cooper remains shrouded in mystery. Despite extensive investigations and countless theories, his true identity and his fate remain as elusive as ever. This is a tale of audacity, daring, and intrigue. A tale that has intrigued and baffled the world for over half a century. So, who was DB Cooper, and what exactly happened on that fateful day in 1971? November 24th, 1971, DB Cooper boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He was nondescript, just another passenger, blending in with the crowd. But as the plane took off, Cooper's true intentions began to unfurl. He signaled a flight attendant over, slipping her a note. The attendant, assuming it was an unwanted advance, tucked it away unread, but Cooper, with an air of quiet insistence, urged her to read it. The note was a chilling declaration. He had a bomb. Cooper then laid out his demands. He wanted $200,000 in negotiable American currency and 4 parachutes. The flight attendant relayed the message to the cockpit, and the plane's crew reached out to air traffic control. The news spread quickly, reaching the FBI, who scrambled to meet Cooper's demands. As the plane circled in the air, the authorities on the ground sprang into action. They gathered the money, ensuring each bill was photographed to make them traceable. They sourced the parachutes, careful to avoid any that could be sabotaged or tracked. Finally, the plane landed in Seattle. The passengers, blissfully unaware of the drama unfolding, were told it was a minor technical issue. The money and parachutes were delivered and the passengers were released. The plane, now a hostage to Cooper's will, was refueled. Cooper was meticulous, detailed. He instructed the crew on his flight plan, the altitude, the speed. He wanted the cabin unpressurized. It was clear he had a plan, one that he had thought through. With his demands met, Cooper ordered the plane to take off again, heading for Mexico City. This was just the beginning of a mystery that would baffle authorities for decades, a story that would become the stuff of legends. The story of DB Cooper, the skyjacker who disappeared, was just getting started. Then somewhere between Seattle and Reno, in the thick of a rainstorm, DB Cooper did the unthinkable. In the pitch darkness of a November night, he took a leap into the unknown. With 2 parachutes and $200,000 strapped to his body, Cooper jumped from a Boeing 727, plunging into the stormy wilderness below. Imagine the audacity of it. A commercial flight, cruising at an altitude of approximately 10,000 feet, and Cooper, a man shrouded in mystery, dared to jump. His silhouette, barely visible, disappeared into the tempest, swallowed by the night. The roar of the plane's engines was drowned out by the howling winds, and the man known as DB Cooper disappeared into the clutches of the storm. Now, let's consider the aftermath. The authorities were left flabbergasted. The audacious act had them scrambling. Search efforts were launched almost immediately, with teams scouring the suspected drop zone. Despite the adverse weather, the search went on for weeks, then months. But the man, the money, the parachutes, none were ever found. The vast, rugged wilderness proved to be a perfect hiding place, or perhaps a grave. The FBI, local authorities, even the military were involved in the hunt for Cooper. They searched forests, mountains, and rivers. They interviewed hundreds of people, followed countless leads, and analyzed every piece of evidence they could find, but it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Cooper had vanished without a trace. The disappearance of DB Cooper is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. It's a story that has captivated the imagination of millions, spawning countless theories and speculations. The audacious hijacking, the daring escape, and the subsequent disappearance. It's a tale that seems more fiction than fact. And just like that, DB Cooper vanished into thin air. His story remains an enigma, a mystery that to this day remains unsolved. an audacious act of air piracy that has left us all wondering, who was DB Cooper and where did he go? The FBI launched one of the most extensive and longest-lasting investigations in its history, known as NORJAC. In the wake of the enigmatic disappearance, the Bureau was left grappling with a case unlike any other. A man had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a pseudonym and a skyjacking mystery that would baffle investigators for decades. The NORJAC investigation was a Herculean effort, with the Bureau following thousands of leads, interviewing countless individuals and digging into the backgrounds of potential suspects. Each lead was a potential pathway to DB Cooper's identity, and each dead end was a frustrating reminder of the elusive nature of this case. One of the most tangible pieces of evidence was a tie left behind on the plane. This seemingly mundane object became a focal point of the investigation. The tie was a clip-on, the kind commonly worn by businessmen in the early 70s. But it wasn't just any tie. It contained over 200 microscopic particles of rare earth elements, which suggested that DB Cooper might have had a connection to an industry that used these materials. Then there was the money. In 1978, a young boy found a decaying package of $20 bills on the banks of the Columbia River. The cash matched the serial numbers of the ransom money given to DB Cooper. How the money ended up there, however, only deepened the mystery. Was it dropped during the escape, or purposely left as a clue? Or was it a cruel twist of fate, a random occurrence that only served to muddle the investigation further? Despite the extensive efforts and the multitude of leads, the identity of DB Cooper remained elusive. The FBI officially closed the investigation in 2016, 45 years after the hijacking. Yet, the mystery of DB Cooper continues to capture the imagination of the public and the media. Despite all efforts, the case of DB Cooper remains the only unsolved case of air piracy in commercial aviation history. A mystery that continues to baffle, to intrigue, and to remind us of the enigmatic figure who vanished into the night, leaving behind one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Over the years, there have been numerous theories about the identity of DB Cooper and his fate. The perplexing nature of this case has led to a myriad of speculative ideas, each one more intriguing than the last. One of the most prevailing theories suggests that Cooper did not survive the daring jump. Given the harsh weather conditions that night and the rugged wilderness into which he descended, many believe it's unlikely he made it out alive. The lack of any solid evidence or body discovery, however, leaves this theory hanging in the balance, like a parachute caught on a wind gust. Another theory proposes a different narrative. Some believe Cooper survived the jump and went on to live under a new identity. They argue that his detailed knowledge of the aircraft and the specific instructions for the ransom delivery imply a level of expertise that could have helped him escape undetected. Yet, without a trace of the man or the money, this theory too hovers in the realm of conjecture. Then there's the seasoned criminal theory. Could DB Cooper have been a mastermind with a history of evading the law? His calm demeanor, precise planning, and bold execution hint at someone with experience in high-stakes situations. But again, without any links to known criminals of the time, this theory is as elusive as Cooper himself. A final theory speculates that Cooper may have been a war veteran, perhaps with paratrooper training. His choice of a military-issue parachute, coupled with his apparent familiarity with the terrain, suggests a background in the armed forces. Yet, this theory, much like the others, remains unproven. But without concrete evidence, these theories remain just that, theories. The enigma of DB Cooper continues to baffle us, a mystery wrapped in a riddle, an unsolved puzzle that has captivated the world for over half a century. Despite the lack of answers, the legend of DB Cooper lives on. His daring deed has seeped into our collective consciousness, forever etched in the annals of the unexplained. The story of DB Cooper has permeated popular culture, becoming a symbol of audacity and mystery. We see his influence in the arts, where filmmakers, authors, and songwriters have found inspiration in his enigmatic tale. He's been immortalized in films and books, his story retold in countless ways, each adding a new layer to his legacy. Even in music, his name echoes in lyrics, his persona captured in melodies. Beyond that, there's an annual festival held in his name, where enthusiasts gather to discuss theories and celebrate the enduring enigma that is DB Cooper. This event encapsulates the collective fascination with his story, a testament to its enduring appeal. We may never know who DB Cooper was or what became of him, but his story continues to intrigue and mystify us all. As we delve deeper into the legacy of DB Cooper, we're left with an unresolved mystery that continues to captivate. His story, while fascinating, also serves as a stark reminder of our human desire to explain the unexplained, to solve the unsolvable. Decades have passed, yet the case remains open, a tantalizing puzzle waiting for its final piece. The FBI may have officially closed the case in 2016, but for many, the search continues. Amateur detectives, enthusiasts, and even professional investigators continue to analyze the scant evidence left behind, hoping to unearth a clue that would finally provide closure. Despite the countless theories and speculations, the truth about DB Cooper remains elusive. This enduring mystery is part of his legacy, a testament to the power of his story. The question remains, who was DB Cooper, and what happened to him after he parachuted into the unknown? Perhaps one day we'll find the answer. But until then, DB Cooper remains one of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries of our time. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the enigma of DB Cooper. If you were captivated by this tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories. Remember, the mystery isn't over. Who knows, you might just be the one to crack the case of DB Cooper. Until our next adventure into the unknown, keep exploring the unexplained.